Okay, so this is an XR DVR. As you can see, it's a real heavy duty industrial piece of kit. You can see by the size of it and the quality of it that we'll see, and you go through the features on it, that you can't fit this anywhere, you know, shop, home, business, commercial, you know, whatever you have, industrial use. So basically we're going to look at the inside of it, and that, touch button. The text has been scratched off some of the buttons, but these are like 1, 2, 3, 4. You can still make out 5, 6, 7, 8. They all operate just fine. It's been thoroughly tested. This DVR is an 8 camera system. Customers upgraded because obviously he's added cameras, so he's 16 channel unit now. Power, two USB ports at the front. This drops down. It's you know, CD, DVD, recordable media. You have touch buttons at the front to do your playback, search, jog shuttle again. Really class to use on this unit. Inside, dual bay for 2 hard drives on this side, which we have taken out because they're going through a grueling test to make sure there's no bad sectors on them, make sure they're 100% perfect. In this unit there's 2 250 gig hard drives, so it gives you 500 gig storage. Of course you can increase that to whatever you like if you feel you have the need to do so. This side, another dual bay, empty, ready to rock and roll. If you want to add more hard drives into it, you can. Again, another ID line here going into your DVD writer. You have your power supply, board and fan. I'll give you a look at the back of the unit. Back of the unit, feature rich. Video inputs in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Looped outputs at the bottom. You have audio in and outs here. Alarm, another USB port. VGA, which is your standard connection for your monitors. So PC monitor or whatever type of monitor you might have. RS-232. And you have RS-485. You have your network for your remote connections, power. You have BNC main monitor outputs. So if you wanted the same picture that's coming out as your VGA to a television or a CCTV monitor, you could use that. And you've got 2 spot monitor outputs. I mean, this is feature rich. You know that's a lot of options you've got there. For the vast majority of people, all they'll be doing is connecting in their cameras where it says video in. So what you'll be doing is connecting in your cameras in here, connecting in your monitor in here, and Bob's your uncle, you're away. You see your cameras on the screen. So what we've set up is just some basic tones. Looking at local stuff, and the DVR is connected up to TFT screen. Give you an idea of the quality. To use this system is very simple. If you want to cancel out of any menu, you just press cancel. If you want to go into a particular, say we want to bring up number 1 full screen, you hit number 1, number 2 full screen, number 3 full screen. So you can see the picture quality of it is live, and it is perfectly live. Okay, so that's grand. You just hit the display. There's a display button here, and you see it's very easy to use. Very easy to use. Now this is an industrial machine. There's so many options on this machine, as you're going to see now when we go into the menus. So we have that. Let's see what it's like on playback. What you're going to be interested in here is the playback menu, which is really nice to use. So say I'll show you how to do search. We have a search button which is here. It says search. So if you wanted to go to search, you hit search. You also have another option. This machine comes with a USB mouse. That way you'll see more of the options of what they're doing. So if I right click on the screen, all of these can be done using the buttons here and everything that's here, okay? Up, down, left, right, and all of these options, and everything is labelled. Real easy. Okay? So if I right click with the mouse, I can go to setup, search, PTZ or shutdown. So if I go setup, I need to enter my password. So the password is 1, 2, 3, 4. Very complex. Click OK. we'll go through all of these very, very quickly because it takes a lot of time. Display menu, on-screen display. You can choose what is written on the screen, so you can display where whatever you want. If default you're okay, you can change the names later on in that on it. But monitor, this is for sequence, and you know, for your spot monitor. If you had another monitor hooked up and you were flicking through cameras, that you can do a hell of a lot of different settings here and configurations. Sequences, set up a sequence, spot output, what monitors are going to be going to the spot output, and you can do them individually. As you can see, it ain't many machines that allows you to do it so easily. You know, selecting different cameras to go out to different outputs. So you could have a monitor somewhere in a shop that's outputting maybe only 2 cameras to it. Sorry, and I'm looking on the camera. Obviously, camera title, you can go in and make the camera covert so it's not seen on the screen, so somebody can't see that you're actually recording what you're recording. And you can change the name of the camera rather than being camera 1. Color setup, fantastic. I'll give you an example of this. Camera 1, you want to fine tune this because maybe it's not perfect, you know. So we want to see, maybe change this a bit. So we click here. That is actually improving that image quite a lot. Contrast, we'll leave it around the 60 mark. If you wanted to increase or decrease the brightness, color, tint, whatever you wanted to do, exit out, and you can see it's applied there, but it's going to ask you anyway to apply it, so we just apply it there. PTZ, if you had a PTZ, you put it in there. Now that color setup area is very important. You can individually go in there very easily and fine tune your cameras at the DVR, at the recorder, so you get the maximum for your money out of each camera. Because each environment is different and a camera doesn't automatically know how to behave in each environment, so that's very good. Motion sensors, sensitivity. This is for motion detection, so you can set up motion detection individually on each camera, and this is very important for the amount of footage you're going to be recording, and you can set up each area individually, you know, and you can drag areas and stuff like that, and there's so much you can do, you know. At any time, if you want to go back, if you're stuck, just press cancel, and it'll allow you to cancel. So we want to exit out of this, so we just click on this here. Try and get through this quickly. Sound, if you're using it, there's a load of options for sound in there. The system itself, date and time, you can go in and change the date and time. You got servers that you can, you know, update, synchronize the time to be perfect all the time. You got network options, web service, DDNS, everything in here to be you can configure the transmission speed and the whole lot. You can put in your settings and get online. Mail, user management, you can add in users in there if you wish to do so. System management, you can see the hardware and firmware versions, not that you're going to need anything in there. Control device, that's for controlling your PTZs and stuff like that. So you just exit out of that. There's still a lot to get through here. Sensors, hard drive, there's hard drive events, there's alarm in, alarm out, buzzer events, email notifications. There's just so many settings in this. Disk management, the hard drive has been fully tested, long test, and has been formatted on the system, so the hard drives, the 2 hard drives, are working perfectly. So we'll go back out of that, go back out of that. Now the recording menu, very important area. Go in here and go through it slowly. You could go in here and select parameter, you know, and you've got your different cameras here basically, and your timeline across the top. So you can, with this system, you can individually say the quality, the resolution here is how big your image is going to be. Your frames per second is how smooth the video playback, how many images you're going to be recording every second. The quality is the compression, how high quality do you want that image to be. And you can configure each individual camera for each hour, which is a fantastic idea, because you may want particular cameras to be really important to be super high quality, super high frame rate. For example, a number plate camera or a till detailed camera may need to be high frame rate and high resolution. Whereas a general viewing camera, you might have a camera up just to see if something is moving in the yard or that, and you mightn't exactly need that to be the highest quality. You can tone that down. There's no point in paying €100 for a cheap camera and €500 for an expensive camera and setting them up at the both settings. That just doesn't make any sense. You know, you really want to be giving your expensive cameras that are looking at specific areas of interest, high quality, high frame rate, and you can experiment in here and try and test it out at home. But basically that's very configurable, very easy to configure. You've got alarm setup, you've got panic setup. This is a nice feature. If you're going to be looking at these cameras often, and say for example you set up a certain resolution, whatever that might be, you can set up a panic system whereby if you see something happening, you can press a button on the DVR and it will focus all its energy into recording the highest, whatever setting you put in here. You get you could set this up the highest quality, highest frame rates and the highest resolution that you can get for those cameras or all cameras. And all you do then is you press, there's a panic button here and panic, which I find is a very nice feature. Very neat. Again, it has features. You don't have to use these, they're just there in case you do. Archiving is just, you know, how are you going to get the footage off the system? Well, you've got USB, you've got your CD DVD drive there, your CD-ROM, so you can record CD. You put in your from date, your to date, mode burning, you know, and you just click start. Select your cameras, you know, whatever cameras you want. Of course you're not going to need audio more than likely, so you select and deselect whatever you need, tick boxes, very simple, and just click start and it records it, so you can view it on a PC. Now what we need to look at is, if I right click here, the next option is search. Again, type in your password, 2, 3, 4, click OK. You couldn't get, this is absolutely the best type of search mechanism you can have in a recorder. It's basically got your calendar and your timeline. What we mean by that is you have your calendar here on the left and you can see September 2013 and has today highlighted because it's been formatted. There's nothing else recorded on the system, but you're able to identify when is there recording on the system. So we can go anywhere we want on the system and there's nothing there, but it's very good for that reason. You can go in and see if the machine has been turned off for any period of time or if it hasn't been operating correctly, and you can just click on the date that you want, very fast, and you can see here on the timeline which cameras have been recording. I've only 3 cameras plugged in, so I can see that there's 3 cameras been recording here, and I can drag over to select what I want to view, or you can go search by event, which isn't used all that much, from to, and select your cameras and click OK and search was there any motion in certain cameras at certain times. That's only for very specific events, but this is what, you know, 99% of the people will be using 99% of the time. So here we are. This is playback. It's paused because this is the very last bit of footage that we have, which is, as you can see, is dated 6/9/2013 and it's nearly 9 PM. So what we have is the 3 cameras, same 3 cameras we have hooked up. I'm just going to, so we're playing at normal speed here now at the moment, and I'll show you briefly here camera 3. So I just hit button 3. As you can see, the quality is superb. That's I think it's 704 by 576 resolution. I've it set to, I think, 7 frames per second. On the highest compression playback, and as you can see, the playback looks almost live and the quality of the image is just unbelievable. It's very sharp, and here we are looking at that sign. As you can see, we are on playback, as you can see the symbols on the screen there, and you can see that it's not 25 frames a second. It's 7 frames a second on it. I'll go to the different display modes then. you know. That is pretty spectacular now in playback mode. It's actually very, when it comes to machines, that's a very, clean, crisp, clear image for playback. It's very intuitive to use, using either the mouse. You can see those symbols that are on the screen. You can click on those, pause the image, you know, or you can use the controls that are here. This is, the more you turn this, the faster it forwards. Okay. The middle one is to go frame by frame. I'll give you an example of that. If we go here, 7 images every second. So if this was an extremely important incident, you could go every image, say at a till or that. You could go every second until you had the proper image that you wanted. So to get back to live, you can just click cancel, and it'll go back through the menus until you're live. And now we are live. The shortcuts on this machine to absolutely everything on the front of it. So say if you're in a rush, you're in live view, you want to go on archive, you want to archive something, get footage off the system, hit archive, up comes the password, 1 2 3 4, and then hit OK, and then just enter in your information. Okay, yeah, pop in your CD, that blah blah blah, you know. To pop in your CD, all you do is you click the eject button that's here, pop in your CD, close it up, enter in the details. Oh, it happened on the 5th of the 9th 2013, there was an incident at 2 o'clock, so you'd enter in, back and over, enter in all your information. Very simple, you know, back and over, and you'd have all that done. Just click start and it'll burn away. Select the cameras that you need, and very simple. Cancel again to get back out to the live view.